Sorry. My
Bryce
fault.
Albright, Dude Ranchers Association. We have one. It's an honor and a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for the time on a Friday afternoon. Very greatly
Yeah.
appreciated,
Thanks for having me.
and of course it's it's what you do is unique, exceptional, beautiful, specific. Again, Bryce Albright, Dude Ranchers Association, Dude DUDERANCH .org. So Bryce, how are things at the Dude Ranchers Association?
Yeah, things are great. I mean, we're busy. It's been a busy summer. And ranches are happy and full and just kind of up to their eyeballs in people, which is great. It's been a great couple of seasons. COVID was pretty uncertain for a lot of people, but honestly, it was great for the dude ranch industry.
I
People
would
came
think
out
so
and
because there it's this. It probably was a catalyst, right?
oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you put together experiences they've never done before, a variety of different ranges, locations they want to go, and it's outside. And you can take the whole family. I mean, it was kind of the perfect recipe for a family vacation when they couldn't go overseas, they couldn't go on cruise ships, couldn't go to Disney, and all of our big ranches were all inclusive. So that was a huge, huge winner.
So Bryce, let's do this. Often when I have the opportunity to speak with geniuses such as yourself that do what you do, regardless of what it is, we don't often jump into, we talk about, okay, let's get into the specifics, but let's talk about now, just take a few minutes to talk about what is the Dude Ranchers Association. Give people that, theater of the mind. What is it? Talk about it.
Yeah, so the Dude Ranchers Association is a trade association. We were started in 1926, so we're almost 100 years old, which is pretty unheard of for most
Where is
trade
it?
associations. Yeah, especially in the travel industry. And what we do is we provide resources to our members, of course, just as any association does, but we also are a free resource to people that are wanting to do a vacation like this. So we serve as almost like a travel agency, but we do not collect commissions. So like I said, we're free.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
To, you're so easy to talk to. And so thank you for that. Yeah, and you're very well spoken. So a vacation like this, and also when you talk about it, so someone's listening, they're downloading it whether they're in the United States or they're in Australia. Where is this? And
Yeah.
what is the vacation like?
For sure. So the Dude Ranchers Association, we currently represent 92 ranches across the western US and Canada. We do have 2 in British Columbia, Canada at this time. So what this is a dude ranch vacation. So
I didn't mean to
dude
put it
ranches,
that way,
yeah, that was in quotes for those of you who can't see. And so dude ranch vacations they were honestly first advertised as the original Western adventure vacation. And honestly, even almost 100 years later, it's still true. People go to dude ranches for a new experience, something they've never done before. But honestly, you're going to see the life of the West.
So what does that mean? The Dude Ranch. What does that mean? Dude Ranch experience. What does that mean?
So the dude ranch experience, you're going to live the life of a cowboy. That's
So living the life of, say, if you watched, let's say you watched Tombstone, and
Yes.
you're okay.
Yeah, City Slickers, Yellowstone. I will say it's not as intense as all of those, but it's.
But
it's
it
very
has
busy.
those aspects, yeah.
It does. Yeah, we have working cattle ranches, we have family ranches, and we have anywhere up to luxury resort ranches. So level of comfort for everyone. But what you're going to find at every dude ranch is horses. That's the main reason people go, is to get to experience horseback riding, fly fishing, river rafting, hiking, bird watching, archery, shooting sports. They get to go do, everything that is not found at amusement parks or cruise ships. It's found in nature. And, they get to go actually participate in that. And get to be alongside people that love making that experience possible for those people. You get to meet really neat people. You get to see places that most people in this world will never see, and never even
Well,
get
what do you
close.
mean by that? That's a very profound statement. So expand
It
upon
is.
that.
So it's expanding on that. I mean, most of these ranches, they're private. They are privately owned. However, they're open to the public. But guest ranches on average take 500 to 600 people a year if they run a shorter season. And which, when I say short season, I mean like a summer season. And even if they do that for 100 years, that's still not even touching the population that we've looked at, over the last 100 years. So these places are outside of Yellowstone National Park, Glacier National Park, the wilds of Colorado, the wilds of Wyoming. And horses will take you places people can never get by themselves. And so you get to go back and see mountain views and glacier lakes, streams, fish jumping, kids riding horses. You get to catch fish. You get to be in places that, like I said, most people will never get to experience in their life. People get to experience Yellowstone. They get to see Glacier, the Grand Canyon, stuff like that. But these ranches go far beyond that and offer an experience that you won't find anywhere else.
So what was it like for you when you first discovered it? And how did you first discover it?
Yeah, so I have a rich history in dude ranching. So my parents actually met on a dude ranch, and I was raised on a dude ranch. So when I first discovered it, to me, it was life. It was normal life. But when I left and, we moved away from where that ranch was and whatnot, life was different. And
Where did you go to?
Montana. So we never lived in cities, or anywhere. I've always lived in Montana and Wyoming my whole life, but getting off the ranch, it gives you a different perspective and a different appreciation for natural places, for places that are untouched. Yeah. And honestly, like I said, I grew up on a dude ranch. I worked a dude ranch for 7 years, and that's essentially how I got to where I am now. I was a part of a scholarship program. We have a foundation that's affiliated with the Dude Ranchers Association. It's called the Dude Ranch Foundation. And I was kind of a product of my element. I mean, so I came on to be able to continue on the legacy and the history. And it's been amazing. But still, to this day, when I get to go discover new ranches that I've never been to and places in the world I've never been, it's still breathtaking. I mean, I was on a trip last week. I went to 4 different ranches in southern Colorado. And every ranch is so different, and every landscape's different, and it's jaw-dropping. I mean, like I said, it's places most people will never see in their life.
Those are some very powerful statements. And, one of my, I firmly believe, for what it's worth in life, is, we can have the person we love, obviously. Yet, or at the same time, I should say, as I was taught early in sales to say, is living in a geographical region or realm is just as, if not more important than that. Finding that place that you love, whether it's and I can, just from what you're saying, it's like I don't think I've spoken to anyone from all the luxury realtors that we work with, et cetera, travel, et cetera. I don't think I've spoken to someone who is so aptly and passionately as you have, Bryce, like really just captured that. I mean, you love that life, yeah?
I do, and it's why I do what I do, and even though my job now is sitting in an office and still getting to travel to ranches rather than sitting on a horse every day in the summer, it was a different change of state. But anytime people come west, I feel like that, even if they're from overseas, and even if they live somewhere close maybe to the 7 wonders of the world, or, every place has different beauty. But when people go to dude ranches, I mean, terms like life-changing, or the best vacation I've ever had, or this gave me a whole new perspective on my life. That's not an uncommon, those aren't uncommon statements. It is life-changing. And to actually get the freedom of being where few people will see and seeing the natural beauty that was created in the world and getting to do it on a horse is an experience that you can't even put it into words.
So talk about that, Bryce, because everything you just mentioned is so spot on, yet, or at the same time, and then you brought in the horse. So, I can take a group of friends, whatever it might be, to any number of beaches, right? I can take them to very fantastic places. There's no horse. You just touched upon something very important. What is it about, along with, of course, I get it, it's it is in this pristine, magical component of the world, United States, but the world. What is it, though? Because you said you made it a point, the horse.
The horse. You think back, and I can't take credit for this, but I heard this actually recently on another podcast, that you think back, and there was never a time in human history that we did not have horses. The Spanish conquistadors, when they came over, we've never lived without them. It's how we fought in wars. It was how we made food. It was, transportation. And that's still very predominant out here in the West. And so the horse, they're used for therapy. And that's not just because that's the one that is the calmest or something like that. Horses have healing powers, in my opinion. I was raised around horses. I own my own, and I'm nowhere as peaceful as I am on top of a horse.
Really?
And horses they're scary to a lot of people because they're a very large animal. They have their own mind. But also they are, for some people, they are what grounds them. And horses, like I said before, horses can take you places that people never will. And your own 2 feet might be able to get there, but you're not going to be able to cover the amount of ground. You're not going to be able to do it probably as safely, because horses do provide a lot of protection in a sense too when you're out in the wild. And horses are what makes these vacations for sure. But also, they're a special animal. They're so different than a dog. They're so different than anything, any kind of pet.
So let me ask you this, Bryce. So to give and this is the beauty of the podcast, is the theater of the mind, as Howard Stern would say. So and I had the fortune of being in that realm back in the early 2000s. So the person, if you could say, you, Bryce, the expert at doing what you do, if you could say to the person, the family guy, the mom, whatever it might be, they're deciding what that next trip might be. And it could be Aspen, it could be Telluride, it could be the Bahamas, whatever. What is it that, if you were in their shoes, along with the horse, what is it that really is the entire game changer for making that upcoming trip with Dude Ranchers Association?
Yeah, so if I were trying to decide where to go, and I was a family member making that decision, and Dude Ranchers came across my radar, and my, horses were what intrigued me. If I was thinking about it, my kids, and if I lived in the inner city of, say, New York, and, my kids have never seen a horse, my kids have never seen a mountain, or something,
right.
Or even my husband,
Right.
I would say, I want to give my kids that experience to have that life-changing moment, to develop a love for something bigger than themselves. That's what I would
That's
want.
A good way to put it. The love for something, what'd you say? The love for something bigger than
yourself. And it's not just, yes, a horse is physically bigger than yourself, but when you get onto a dude ranch, and that's just the tip of the iceberg in the Western life. It really is in the Western way of life. But when you get on a dude ranch and you feel the Western culture and the atmosphere and, the love that people have for the West and, the horses, it'll change your life. It really will. And there's people that have been coming to dude ranches for 50 years, 25 years. They've brought every generation since, that they have in the family. Dude ranches are a very traditional return destination for families, especially.
And so the best thing that someone should do right now when they are learning about Dude Ranch Association is obviously go to the website, and then what is it that they should think about when they're contemplating, along with everything you just said, but let me ask you this: if I just said to you, Bryce, here's a trip to go ski. Here's a trip to go experience the Dude Ranches. What would be the differentiation as to why you'd choose the Dude Ranches over, say, that ski trip to Aspen?
Yeah, so I'm going to get a little technical here. I mean, but when you're looking at Dude Ranches, and especially DRA member ranches, you're looking at an all-inclusive package. That's something that's always, first in mind for people because they don't want to do the planning, which I totally don't blame them. So Dude Ranches, the different types of activities. How many times have you been skiing? How many times have you ridden a horse? How many times have you been to Vail or Big Sky? How many times have you been to Sassby, Arizona, down on the border? To go experience a Dude Ranch. Like, you look at location, you look at the experience you want. Is this going to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip? Like, that's another consideration. But yeah, like, all-inclusive. Dude Ranches are all-inclusive. They offer a great environment for, no matter who's coming, whether it's the 4 and 5-year-old kids or the 90-year-old grandparents. And everybody in between. There's something for everybody. And, they're in stunning locations, and you get the opportunity in a very controlled environment to experience horses and trail riding and sometimes working cattle. Like we said, getting that experience. It's on, City Slickers or Yellowstone, and you get to see camaraderie of the Western culture, and you get to see the cowboys and, the love that people have for their industry. You go to a ski resort and it's like, yeah, just scan your pass, get on the lift. They don't care. Dude Ranches, there's a love. People probably argue with me about that, but like, I've worked other jobs.
No, and what's cool is what I didn't realize, and you've said it so well and eloquently, and you're very well spoken, by the way, is I didn't realize how significant of a component or factor, if you will, that the horse is. It's really the horse almost seems centrifugal, right?
Yeah, it does, but that's why most people go to a Dude Ranch. Like I said, people can be scared of them because they're intimidating, and it's an intimidating experience to get on a live animal. That's not like an elephant in the circus or a camel at the zoo, It's a moving animal that you're in control of.
Right.
But you put that in an environment where they know they're going to be safe. They know that this is what these people do for a living, and they do it for 14 to 16 to 52 weeks a year. It changes their mindset. And everybody, every little girl loves horses. Every person that's ever had the opportunity to be around them, for the most part, I could say has some kind of love for the animal. And that is the main reason people go to Dude Ranches is the horseback riding, but they get so much more,
So when someone listens to this, or they see your feature in our beautiful summer issues, or however they stumble across the amazing Bryce, and they get to duderanch.org, then what is it, how do they choose the right Dude Ranch experience for them?
Yeah. Well, if they don't want to do any of the work, they call us. That's first and foremost. So if they want to explore a little bit on their own, they can go to the Find a Ranch page on our website and explore. They can see what kind of activities are offered. It's actually a filter system. You just click the buttons of what you would want to do. But mostly, like I said before, they want to, they need to know, like, they don't necessarily need to know, but have an idea of where they want to go as far as location-wise.
What was the first one you did?
What?
What was the first one you did?
That I ever, the first one I ever went to.
What was the one that introduced you to?
Oh yeah, the one that I grew up on was the CM Ranch in Wyoming.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's where I got my start. But know where you want to go, what you want to do besides horseback riding. If there's anything that's really jumping out at you, like for these type of clients that maybe we're looking at from a luxury perspective, maybe they want a spa, maybe they want, ATVs, or shooting sports.
But they can also do anything, right? With you, Bryce, they can do anything. They can horseback ride and then go fly fishing. right?
Exactly.
They can do anything they want.
And that's the beauty of dude ranches is there's a schedule-ish depending on the ranch. There's outlined activities, but the autonomy and the freedom to pick what you want to do, is what makes it a vacation that is so unique, like you said before. Like they could horseback ride in the morning, they could go whitewater rafting in the afternoon. They could go shoot skeet in the morning, they could go fly fishing in the afternoon.
I'm gonna quit what I'm doing and go and live on one of your dude ranches.
It's a great plan.
I'm literally I was looking out the window and I'm actually seriously considering it. You probably wouldn't hire me, but
yeah, I don't do any of the hiring, so you could pull one of the ranches and take it. But yeah, it is, and truly, I think you need to go experience it, Jen. It's something like you've probably never done before.
No, I haven't. And and the horseback riding it is a special thing, and it changes people's lives. It's like we can go to all these magical places, beaches, whatever, name it. But it's really, you explained it very well, Bryce, with respect to the experience and the power, life-changing, so that you get when you sit on a horse. I've done it a few times, and when you do it, it does change your life because they're such magical, beautiful animals. And then when you do it in an environment such as the environments that Dude Ranchers Association operates within and gives people the opportunity to stay at and live and experience, it changes everything. So
it really does.
Kudos to you for what you do.
Oh, I'm very blessed to do what I do. So if anybody does want to, look into this type of vacation, and we do have a feature in your upcoming issue, but in the summer. But jump on our website, duderanch.org.
DUDE. You can finish it.
RANCH.org. So
exactly.
duderanch.org. And there's only 2 of us in the office, so if you call, you've got a 50% chance of getting me. If you get Jamie, she's great too. She's worked Dude Ranches as well, so we've got some good knowledge here in the office, and a ranch literally for anybody. So,
Bryce, I thank you for taking the time to do this, and this is quite possibly my favorite podcast I've ever done of the hundreds I've done. So thank you. You're a unique individual to do the things that you do and the opportunities that you offer to people. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I can probably say, I think this is, I can say that this is probably my favorite podcast episode I've ever done. To actually dig into what makes these places special and not just do my normal spiel is pretty cool. So.
Thank you, Bryce. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I think I'm going to, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how to get rid of everything else in my life and go live in a dude ranch.
Okay, go to our website, scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a careers page.
Oh, thank you. Oh, so you wouldn't even offer me you direct me down, so I got to go to HR.
We actually don't do any of the hiring for the ranches. I don't hire my employees. So
thanks, Bryce. Real nice. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you're on your own. You gotta fend for yourself. Maybe let your wife call.
Have a great weekend, Bryce. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.